As the school year is winding down and we are moving into summer, and we're trying to get our rhythm and our footing around how we're going to spend our time this summer. How are we going to have our kids, our teenagers, spending their time this summer? What are we going to allow for? What are we going to cultivate? What are we going to emphasize? I'm trying to figure that out. We're not in post-COVID, but we're in this COVID journey that's somewhere in the in-between. Our kids have been through a really, really tough over a year period where they've missed out on a lot of important things for their development. And school's going to start up again in the fall, and summer is this distinct time where we may try to shove more in to get our kids the edge. But I want to talk to you about what are some ways that are valuable for your kid to spend their time this summer to not only recuperate and recover and heal from what has happened this last year, but also to prepare them to move into whatever is waiting for them in the fall, whether that's going off to college or starting their next year of high school. So we're going to talk about 8 ways that are valuable ways for your kid to spend their time this summer. Let me start with this idea, though, that every kid is starting in a different place. Your kid may have really fallen behind academically, or maybe they haven't had anywhere near enough social connection time. Maybe you're not focused on social stuff or even academic stuff, but you're more focused just on your child's mental health. Wherever your child is where we should start. So with these suggestions in mind, keep in mind who your child is, what they need, in terms of really processing and working through this last year and getting ready to begin their next school year freshly. The first one is one that parents may spend too much emphasis on, and that is mastery. So a lot of times we're like, gosh, I really want my kids to, take all these enrichment classes or get really good at this one particular thing, or they're going to sports camps because they got to get better at their, at their sport. All of those things can be valuable. I don't mean to say that those are bad things, but I think that if we become really focused on mastery, focus, and, building a particular set of skills, then we are really missing a lot of super important things. So really all of these 8, and this first one of mastery is a good example. It's good for our kids to have some of all of these. So we don't want to be too focused in where we're like, you're going to spend all your time this summer mastering this skill or whatever. Our kids need a lot more than just a really focused enrichment kind of experience this summer. So mastery can be great, but I would keep in mind too, is make sure it's something your kid wants to master, not what you want them to master. We cannot motivate children, particularly teenagers, if they are not engaged and interested. So whatever it is around the mastery, it should be something your child is engaged in, has passion for, or wants to improve. The second one, industriousness or being productive. That's also a really valuable way for your kid to spend time, but again, in smaller doses, not as the whole summer. So having a project, being engaged in productive ways, including even participating in the home, helping care for younger kids, helping maybe with one night a week with dinner, they're in charge of dinner that particular night. Maybe it is helping you with a project you're working on at the home. So being productive, whether with a project or with household chores or household contributions, these can be really, really great for our kids to be industrious. Some of them may be getting jobs this summer. Some of them may be doing internships this summer. All of these are great ways for them to spend their time and definitely have value, but make sure it's not their whole summer. They need other things. The third thing that they can do that's a great use of time is exploring. This is where curiosity or interest to check out something to see if they would like it or be good at it. So not only trying something new, trying something novel. Maybe if your family's really into hikes, maybe you come up with some trails you've never done before, those kinds of things. Anything your kid's curious about. Exploring can be really, really, really a great way to spend time. Number 4, giving to others. This could be obviously in the community or in the home. I've already mentioned household chores or helping with the responsibilities and demands of the household. That can be really helpful, but also volunteering or doing internship work. Doing things in the neighborhood, participating. And sometimes your kid might need a little bit of nudge to do this or for you to do this with them until they get their kind of traction going there. But giving to others is a really helpful way to spend time this summer. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, No, wait, that's number 5. I'm losing track. Number 5 is rest and sleep. So it should be 5A and 5B. Rest and sleep are different. Sleep is crucial for the developing brain. It's crucial for mental health. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when we sleep, all of the activity of the brain of the day, all of the processing that we do and all the work that the brain does actually leaves debris, toxins, those kinds of things in our brain. And when we sleep, the metaphorical janitorial crew comes in and cleans all of that up. So some people have even gone, some experts have gone as far as to say that if you were not getting enough sleep, you're actually leaving toxins in your brain. So really important that your child gets sleep. I know as parents that sometimes we're like, they're sleeping all day, and that's not good either. So it's really just about getting a good amount of sleep and a regular rhythm as much as possible. And then rest is 5B, and it's really doing nothing. It's really about putting a pause on things, relaxing. That might be watching a movie or playing a game or, you know, those kinds of things, but it also can be things like daydreaming and picking at things and meandering and tinkering and really just hanging out. And I know sometimes that can activate some anxiety in parents that they're just being lazy, but this idea of relaxation and rest and respite from the go, go, go is kind of counterculture. And it's something that is a really great thing for us to encourage and cultivate in ourselves and in our kids. Number 6, connection. Our kids have missed out on a lot of connection time, and this is really a developmentally driven time to be connected to peers. Give them more freedom to be with friends and have a lot of time with friends this summer. They really need that to kind of be where they are developmentally and to kind of make up for some of that time. Connection also is family time though. And so if you all can have times that you schedule, which is family time, like Sunday nights, we always are going to eat dinner together, or we're going to go for, you know, hikes on, or we're going to go to the beach on every other Saturday, you know, whatever it is, to have some specific family time as well. That's important connecting time. There's a lot of research about how important family dinners are. They're really a protective factor for kids. So trying to get meals in together can be really great, but really allowing for a lot of time with friends this summer. And I would even say working less hours if possible, to have more time to rest and sleep and connect and explore those kinds of things. And then number 7 is play. I know your teenagers don't play the way they used to, but play is really doing something just for the sake of doing it because it's enjoyable. So that might be things like playing on screens with friends, or it may be, you know, tinkering with something. It may be hanging out with their friends, playing ping pong, getting really invested in something that's just super fun. So any kind of play that is just joy producing for your child is really, really helpful. Actually, adults need that too. And then number 8 is time in nature, time outside. They've spent so much of the year with computers and things up close to their face. They actually need to be outside with more panoramic view. Actually, we're worried about people's eyes. By 2050, half the population will have eye issues because we're looking at screens so much. So really getting your kid outside, seeing a longer view, having time with their feet in the sand, their feet in the dirt, their feet in the grass. Maybe you even do some family picnic times or going outside to throw the Frisbee, whatever it is, but making sure they're getting some outside time as well. Now, these 8 things, mastery, being industrious, exploring, giving to others, rest and sleep, connection, play, and nature. These are all really valuable ways for your kid to spend time. What I would say is, in terms of the grand scheme of things, they really need a nice balance of these things. And as parents in our society, we tend to really emphasize the mastery and productiveness of productive industriousness. And what I would say to you is to pull back on that a little bit, to give more space for play and connection and exploring and rest and time in nature, the other 6, because that will be so important for your child to recuperate and rest from the stress of this year that has piled and piled and piled, and give them a chance to catch up developmentally on some of the things they missed out on and be prepared for whatever lies ahead in the fall for them to get back engaged. We want our kids to be engaged in life, doing things that are joyful and fun, are just as important as the productive bottom line achievement kinds of things, if not more. For sure more, actually, I would say. I'm going to go further. What I would say to you for your whole family, but especially for your teenager, is that less is more. They really do need to do the things that we know cultivate wellness, connection, time outside, playing, resting. All of these things promote wellness. Obviously, you want your kid to eat healthy and exercise and all those things too. But I'm really talking about as you're evaluating what your child is going to be spending their time doing. And my final suggestion to you is one of the other things that they've missed out on a lot this last year, you've heard me talk about this in almost every video, is autonomy and a sense of independence. So as you're talking about these ways that your kid is going to spend their time this summer, I would really give as much of the decision making as possible to your teenager. Have a conversation with them. Hey, you know, the schedule's about to change. Let's talk about how you're going to spend your time this summer. What are your ideas? And really give them a lot of freedom. They shouldn't have to have everything super scheduled. That is stressful. It's nice to have, and if you think back about your own summers and your own memories of what summers were like, to have time that is not scheduled is really, really valuable. Give your kid as much freedom and autonomy as you can this summer. This is a great way for you to practice asking them, what's your plan? Or I know you know it's important to get a good night's sleep, or I know you know it's important to contribute to the household. So what's your plan? These are the kinds of phrases you can use to get them to be engaged and give them some decision-making power. Less is more. Have fun and let them have fun this summer as much as possible. Again, the value of play and rest and connection are so important. Don't get trapped in the achievement getting ahead mindset that does not benefit our kids and it does not benefit us. That whole over-parenting thing doesn't work very well. But many people are trapped in that. So I want to just give you permission to let summer be something that you protect as a time for your child to play and get to be a kid for these last few years of their adolescence. I wish you all a great summer. I hope you get some of these things too. As adults, you need all of these 8 things as well. And I hope you'll get some of that too, as we really pause for this season and protect summer as a time to be together and to have joy in our environment and to take a pause from the stress of what we've all been in. Bye-bye.